Hey guys, welcome to another video. My name is Ian. I am Ian the Reader, and today I'm in a different spot. Why am I in a different spot, you ask? Because you can't see it, but there is a ridiculous amount of books right here. There are a ridiculous amount of books right here. It's insane. I went a little crazy, no surprise there, and I bought books. So this is my book haul for December and January. I didn't have time to film a haul in December because there were so many year-end videos I had to make. And I am making a decision right now that I'm done buying books in January. As of this moment, it is January 23rd, I think, as of filming. And I'm not gonna buy any more books, even though there's more than a week left in January. It's not gonna happen because I have to stop. My goal is to not purchase another book until April, maybe? I'm gonna at least take a month off. Okay, my big goal is February. I might try to do March as well, but I have so many books. Like, there's no excuse. One, I have so many books that are on my shelves that I'm very interested in reading. And two, I have a library, a perfectly good library with a huge selection of books. So why am I buying books? And on top of that, most of the reading I do is audiobooks and then ebooks. So what am I doing? Someone stop me. But yeah, I have a lot of books to talk about with you guys today. It's a lot. In my defense, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the books. I'm gonna sort of divide this into different categories. Not really. I just really want to talk about the books that I was gifted or I won in giveaways first. And then I will talk about books that I got at little free libraries or of the sort. And then I will just go into the much larger pile of books that I purchased with my own money because I have no control. I had gift cards, okay? Leave me alone. I almost forgot, actually. We gotta talk tea. So, I'm drinking out of this tea mug today. I bought it for my wife. I don't remember when, I don't know, randomly maybe. But it has a lady on there with a plant and the sun, and you can't see it, but on the inside of the rim, actually maybe if I turn it you can. I don't want to spill my tea. It says plant person, so that's nice. It's a nice little mug. I like the shape of it because it's not even, it's flawed or whatever, but it's cool. I like it. I don't know what that's called. There's probably a term for it, but yeah, and the tea I'm drinking today is a vanilla chai, and it's so freaking good, you guys. I'm obsessed with hot tea. Give me your hot tea recommendations, please. I'm looking for some new favorites, but I love this vanilla chai. It is bomb. All right, enough of that. Let's jump into the books. So first, as I said, I want to go ahead and talk about the books I was either gifted by friends or by publishers or by authors or the ones that I won in giveaways. So let's jump into those. First up, we have The Four Winds by Kristin Hannah. Now, if you've been keeping up with my channel, you know that I already read this book. I did a reading vlog with all the Book of the Year nominations from Book of the Month, and this was in it. And this book made my top 10 of the year. But my family and I do a book exchange. The family members of mine that are in our book club together, we do a book exchange at the end of the year as part of our celebration of the past year of reading. And this was one of the books that I got. So yes, glad I have a copy of this because this is amazing. 5 stars. Then the amazing author Logan Leshane was kind enough to send me her book. I did a whole unboxing of this and my book outlet haul last week, and the package and everything that came with it for this book was so cool. One of the greatest experiences I've had on BookTube so far was unboxing that, so definitely go check that video out. I'll leave a link to it in the description. This book sounds so fascinating though, you guys. It is wild sounding, and there's an interactive aspect to the book, so you should definitely check this book out. I'll go ahead and leave a link to buy this on Amazon as well if you are interested. I highly recommend checking this out because it sounds so cool. Next up, I won a copy of Moonwitch Spider King by Marlon James from Goodreads on a Goodreads giveaway. This is a sequel to Marlon James's book Black Leopard Red Wolf, which came out a few years ago. Marlon James is a highly renowned and well-respected author, and I've been really wanting to try his works before. Unfortunately, this is the second book in the series, and I have not read book 1, so I've got to read Black Leopard Red Wolf to be able to read this book, but I will at some point, for sure. Also, I love the cover on this. It's so cool. The colors are great. It's one you can really, study for a while. I love covers that, really grab your attention, and this is definitely one. So, thank you Riverhead Books for doing a giveaway of this on Goodreads. I'm so glad I won it. Next up, we have Age of Ash by Daniel Abraham. Orbit Books and Angela over at Orbit Books, that's hard to say, were kind enough to send me this book, a finished copy of it. I just got it in the mail last week, and I'm super excited to read it. I've been wanting to try Daniel Abraham / James S.A. Corey for a long time, and I've just heard so much hype about this book and about his works in general, so I was super excited when they were willing to send me this finished copy. This is the first in a new fantasy trilogy by Daniel Abraham. It comes out in February, so it is the perfect time to read this book. Definitely check this out when it comes out. It's a very loud plane. It's so loud. I'm gonna sip my tea while I wait for that plane to go away. Next up is Rose Madder by Stephen King. This is another book that I got in my family's book exchange at the end of the year. This is a Stephen King book that I have not read yet, did not own a copy of. I'm so excited to read this one. I'm planning on making a video at some point. I don't know, I have a lot of videos I want to make, but I just don't have a lot of time. I'm planning on making a video talking about the Stephen King TBR that I have, and this is definitely one of them. Side note, did y'all hear about the brand new Stephen King book that's coming out in September? Because oh my gosh, it sounds so good. This is the cover, and it's a fantasy, and it's over 600 pages long, and I'm ready, dude. All right, so that concludes the books that I got from giveaways or from authors or gift exchanges and things like that. Let's go ahead and jump into the books I got from Little Free Libraries. First up is Player Piano by Kurt Vonnegut. I couldn't remember the title of this book for a second. Yeah, so I saw this Little Free Library, and I've been really wanting to read more books by Kurt Vonnegut, and this is actually his first novel. So I don't really know what this is about, but I really like the cover. Guys, I'm a sucker for like old paperbacks. You'll see that. I actually have some more old paperbacks that I'm gonna get into later, but I thought this cover was super interesting, and I am really interested in Kurt Vonnegut, so I got it, and it was free, so whatever. I also got Prodigal Summer by Barbara Kingsolver from a Little Free Library. I hauled 2 other books by her back in November. I read a book by her in November as well, and I really enjoyed it, so I'm definitely hoping to get to this one soon. I've heard really good things, and I really want to read more of Barbara Kingsolver. Then I was lucky enough to find a copy of All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr in a Little Free Library. Now with this one, I have already read this book, and I think at the time I gave it like 4 stars. However, it's really stuck with me a lot. It very much lingered in me emotionally, and I want to reread this book, especially because he just released his new book, Cloud Cuckoo Land, recently. So I'd like to reread this book and read Cloud Cuckoo Land. When I saw this at a Little Free Library, I was like, man, I gotta get me that. Next, I actually went to a Little Free Library that had a ton of graphic novels, and so I went ahead and picked out some. Those are these 3. The first of those is Batman: The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. I have heard so many good things about this graphic novel. I've heard it is incredible. I've heard it is one of the best Batman stories ever told, and it's blurbed by Stephen King. That's all you need to tell me, but yeah, I was super excited to find this. And then also, they had the first 2 volumes of Sandman by Neil Gaiman, which I've been really wanting to read these because there is a Netflix adaptation coming very soon. So these covers are creepy as heck, but can I make this the thumbnail? Aha! Very excited about those. Now we're going to jump into the massive pile of books that I purchased with my own money because I have no self-control. First up, we have The Aeronauts Windlass. Maybe that's how you say Windlass. Windlass? I don't know. I think it's Windlass by Jim Butcher. If you don't know this, I made a video of my top 5 fantasy series of all time as of 2021 a couple weeks ago, and The Dresden Files was number 1, and that's the only series I've ever read by Jim Butcher, so I'm super excited to try this book. I know he's supposed to be working on the 2nd book in this series, and he has a whole other finished series I need to read too, but found this in hardback at my local used bookstore. It was in really good condition, and it was pretty dang cheap, so got it. I'm very excited to read it. Now let's go ahead and talk about the books that I ordered from Book of the Month. I skipped my Book of the Month box in January, but I did order one in December, and I got 3 books in there. So, first of those is A History of Wild Places by Shea Ernshaw. This book sounds so interesting. It's a magical realism book that like gives me The Village vibes by M. Night Shyamalan, and I think that movie's super good. I mean, it's not like perfect or anything, but it's good. It's a good time. And yeah, this sounds really, really good. I was super excited when this was one of the picks. I also got A Flicker in the Dark by Stacy Willingham from Book of the Month, and this is a thriller that's supposed to be really good. I've actually just started this book, so I'll probably finish it in January. That's the goal. I'm super excited about it. I think it was a really good pick from Book of the Month. And then I also finally got an add-on that I've been wanting for a while, and that is This Tender Land by William Kent Kruger. I've heard such incredible things about this book, and this is one of the books that I drew in my 5-star predictions video that I made a while back. I'll link that down below too, so I have to read this book either this month, in February, or in March. I think the plan is March, but we'll see. But yeah, this book, I'm so excited to read. Now we're just gonna jump into the rest of the random books that I bought. You'll have seen some of these before if you watched my book unboxing, because I already hauled those, but I'll show them again just because. First up, we have Tess of the D'Urbervilles, something like that, by Thomas Hardy. I have been really wanting to try some Thomas Hardy. I know there are a lot of videos on BookTube talking about like where to start with Thomas Hardy, and most people don't recommend this one, but this is one of his most popular works, and I really thought the cover was quite nice, quite ominous, and so I had to get it. I mean, I think that's just such a cool cover. I've never seen a cover of this book look like this, and I think it's just so awesome, so I definitely want to read this soon. I may try to fit this in sooner rather than later, because Like I said, I'm reading like some really big classics, but I also could use some shorter ones, and this is really not that long. It's only like 380 pages, so we'll definitely try to read this one in 2022 though. Next up, we have 2 nonfiction books. Actually, I have 3 nonfiction books. Let me just go ahead and grab that one, and we'll talk nonfiction real quick, and then we'll jump back into the fiction, because you can only handle nonfiction for so long, if you ask me. So, we have Why Fish Don't Exist. I have heard incredible things about this nonfiction book. The subtitle for it is A Story of Loss, Love, and the Hidden Order of Life. I have started this book. It is very short. I think it's less than 200 pages or about 200 pages, and it's very readable. So I'll probably finish this in February if I had to guess, but I'm very excited about it. I also picked up So You've Been Publicly Shamed by Jon Ronson, and this book sounds really interesting too. I've heard that it is very thought-provoking, that it is very enlightening, and that it's just a really nice and good read. So, and the cover just grabs you, doesn't it? It grabs you. And then I randomly saw this nonfiction book at Half Price Books, and I picked it up. It is called Furnishing Eternity, A Father, a Son, a Coffin, and a Measure of Life by David Giffels. I'm pretty sure that this is about a man and his father building the man's coffin together, and just like his reflection on, you know, his relationship with his dad and a lot of things like that. And to be honest, sounds real emotional, and I'm here for it. So I picked this up. All right, back into the fiction books. We have some mass market paperbacks that I picked up. First of those is Heart of Veradon by Tim Ackers. I thought this cover was really cool and it sounded really interesting. I'm thinking about making this a blind read, which if you have been around my channel, you know I did a blind date with a book reading vlog in which I didn't read any reviews for a book and I didn't know really anything about it, and I just jumped in and read it and then saw what I thought of it before checking out reviews. I don't really know a lot about this book. It just sounds really interesting and the cover grabbed my attention at Half Price Books, so I picked it up. And yeah, I think I'll blind date this book. So very cool. Then we have a book that I already owned, but I had to pick up another copy because I loved the cover. This is Crime and Punishment. This cover is just wild. It's wild, and I really liked it. I think it's a different translation of it too, so it does add value besides just having a good cover. But I now own 2 copies of Crime and Punishment. I like this cover better though, so. And it was like $2, or maybe it's $3, but whatever, I like it. I also picked up a copy of Rabbit Run by John Updike. I don't remember who it was. I'll link their channel down below, but somebody put this as like one of their top 5 books of 2021, and I was compelled. I've heard that it's very divisive, that it's a bit questionable and controversial, but I can handle that. I'm interested. I'll give it a go. And I picked up Zola by this author whose name I can't read. You know I can't read weird names, guys. This is not new, but it's not weird. I'm sorry, it's not weird. It is just complicated for me because I'm dumb. It's me. It's me. I'm the problem. I've heard that this author is just an incredible writer and writes some really emotional and powerful stories. And someone I follow on Instagram who's really great, I'll go ahead and link their page down below, made like a whole list and like review of a bunch of this author's books. And this book is apparently one of their favorite books of all time. And so I picked it up at Half Price Books for like $2. It's in crappy condition, but I'm here for it. It's fine. I also got this super cool cover copy of We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. So fun story with this book. I was supposed to read this in a class 2 or 3 years ago, and I like skimmed it. And it was one of those that I knew if I had time to commit to it, I would really enjoy it. I don't remember anything about this book, but this cover is really just haunting and super cool, and I had to pick it up. Again, I just had to. I'm a sucker for covers and a sucker for old paperbacks. It's even like in this plastic wrap. Half Price Books was not messing around with this one, but it was $3. The cover's so cool. I really love it, and I'm very excited to read it. It's also so short. It'll be easy. Now, what's not short is this chunka, War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I talked about in my Classics TBR for 2022 that I really wanted to try some Tolstoy. Anna Karenina is actually a current read of mine, and I'm really enjoying it. So as soon as I started it and realized I was loving it so much, I did go ahead and go get a copy of War and Peace from Half Price Books. It's huge. It's not gonna happen this year. We all know that. It might not happen next year either, but one day, I swear to you, I will read War and Peace, and I'll love it. I better love it at least, because like, I ain't about to spend this much time on a book and not love it. Come on. Next we have Only Killers and Thieves by Paul Howarth. His newest book has been getting quite a bit of buzz, and I'm very drawn to it. I also love orange on books, so I was drawn to this cover. This is like kind of like a western-y feel to it. Like, it's historical fiction, but it's actually set in Australia, I believe. hold on, don't let me lie to you. Yeah, it's set in Australia. So that's cool. I like reading books that are set in Australia. Trent Dalton is one of my favorite authors, and his books are set in Australia, and they're incredible. So I definitely want to give this a try soon. Also, not too long, so I like that. I'm such a hypocrite though, because like I say I like short books, but I also love me a good long book too. So I just like all books. I don't care what size they are. I appreciate those books for whatever they are. Then we have Sleep of Memory. I saw this at Half Price Books randomly. It was on like a book end, like an end of a shelf on display. And it just sounded so mesmerizing and so beautiful. And this is another blind date with a book for me because I didn't look it up on Goodreads, but it's like, it just, I mean, look at the cover. It's set in Paris. It's supposed to be about memory, and I love books that like memory is a big theme of them, and like nostalgia and things like that. I just think they're so moving and so powerful, and this sounds so good. So good. Speaking of intense emotions that make me happy but also sad, we have The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I've heard incredible things about this. I've heard it'll just destroy you though, and it's like a book for people who are depressed in some ways, so maybe I'll just wait till a dark and rainy day and read The Bell Jar. But I'm glad I found a copy of this because I have actually never seen a physical copy of this book because I think it's so popular that anytime it shows up at like Half Price Books, people just snatch it up. I actually saw it on a cart of books that had just been like brought to the store and were needing to be put up, and it had just been put on there. I was like, ooh, mine, and I grabbed it and I bought it, so haha, suckers. Then we have The Blackest Heart by Brian Lee Durfee, who is a booktuber. I'll go ahead and link his channel down below, but I went ahead and picked up the second book in his series, The Five Warrior Angels. I have book 1, haven't read it. You'll notice a theme here. But yeah, I have book 1 and I have book 2. They're both in beautiful hardbacks, and I believe book 3 is supposed to be coming out this year at some point. Maybe, we'll see. Then we have The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. I am so pumped to read this book for a couple of reasons. One, I've heard it's just very like political and intriguing, and there's a lot of different aspects to it that are really cool. The UK covers for this are gorgeous. They are stunning. I like the US covers, don't get me wrong, but the UK covers, what? They're beautiful. But the reason I'm mainly excited about reading this book is because I'm actually going to be hosting a read-along on my channel for this book in April, and I have some awesome booktubers who are going to be joining me for that. I'm still looking for one more co-host, so if you're a booktuber and you're interested in reading this book in April and joining me for a live show in April, please let me know, because I'd love to have one more co-host. But I'm very excited. I'll have a video announcement for that read-along very, very soon. Look for it in the coming weeks. Next we have Ember and the Ice Dragon. This is a middle grade fantasy book about a dragon who gets turned into a girl by accident, and things go from there, and it sounds awesome and very cool in the atmosphere of it, that it's set in like this icy Arctic kind of place, and I love dragons, and I've been wanting to read more middle grade fantasy because it just sounds like a nice, wholesome, good time. I'm here for it. Alrighty guys, we're getting down to the wire. I think I have like about 5 more books, so hold tight. Next, we have The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. I have been really wanting to pick up another one of these authors' books since I read Never Let Me Go back at the beginning of 2021. And this one in particular has been on my radar because it is one of his most famous and renowned books. It also, as far as I know about it, has a lot to do with like nostalgia and looking back in the past and how things have changed. And I bought this book at Half Price Books on my last day of work at my job that I've been at for 8 years. So it's kind of got an emotional tie there as well. I loved this cover, and then it was a hardback edition. I've never seen this cover or this book in hardback, so I was really excited to find this, and I bought it, and I'm happy, and I'm gonna read it. Next, we have Apartment by Teddy Wayne. This is another book that I got off of Book Outlet. It is about a writer in college who's really just like trying to understand what he wants out of life and out of himself and things like that. And the narrator is not named, and I just really want to read this book. It just seems like a whole vibe, and I'm here for it. All right, next we have another middle grade fantasy, the first book in the Wingfeather saga, titled, and I love this, On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. So that's fun. I've heard really, really great things about this. This series has actually been around for like more than 10 years, but for some reason it's getting really popular again. I think it's partially because they have these brand new covers and they look really cool. But like I said, I'm here for middle grade fantasy lately, and this sounds like a lot of fun. I'm very excited to try it. Second to last book, we have Puppy Show by Leona Ross. I am super excited about this. This is like magical realism set in a different culture than mine, and it just sounds really atmospheric and magical and really cool, and I love the cover on it. It's just very well designed. I love the art on the front. I think it's very unique. yeah, I'm here for this. I've heard a lot of buzz about this book as well. I've seen it all over BookTube and all over Bookstagram and Goodreads a little bit, but yeah, this sounds really great. I'm very excited to have this book in my collection. And the last book we have is We Begin at the End by Chris Whitaker. This is another book I've heard so much buzz about. I think it came out in 2020, but I've heard so many good things about it, and it's been on a lot of year-end lists in 2020 and 2021, and 2022 is going to be the year I read it. I'm just so excited about reading this book, guys. It's going to be awesome. I'm definitely going to read this year because it's like a mystery thriller, but also with like a coming-of-age aspect and like family aspects and things like that, and it's like everything I love in a book. Add a little magic and it'd be perfect, actually. A little bit of magic. Not too much, just a little. But that is all for this video. We made it. We hauled all the books. I'm gonna be better, I swear. It won't be so bad in the future. Hopefully this will be the last haul you see from me for quite a while. Like I said, I'm not gonna purchase any more books, but I may acquire some more from like little free libraries, or I know Orbit is gonna send me a couple more books in the coming months. I may win some giveaways, hopefully, on Goodreads, we'll see. But yeah, I may do a little haul at some point, but I'm not going to buy any books in February, and maybe in March. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this book haul. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.